This is a hot take and I'm probably gonna get hate on it, but I don't care. Ladies, if we don't want to be stared at by creepy men or just like men in general in the gym, let's normalize wearing covering clothing at the gym. If we're wearing like a bra that's like barely covering anything and like really short shorts in the gym, we're asking for that attention. Like we actually are. Men are visual. And so if you don't want that attention, then don't wear things that are gonna get you that attention. I just don't think it's fair for us as women to get mad at other men for looking at us when we're literally causing it. I'm not saying to change who you are or anything. I'm just saying that if you don't want to be looked at in that way, you have to dress in a way that's going to make you not be looked at in that way. I wanted to speak on it because I feel like a lot of us get really angry at men for like, why do men always look at us and objectify us in the gym? But it's like, you're wearing nothing. Like, what are they supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you demand the respect you give yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so if you want people to respect you, you have to, you know, do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to show anything to be loved. The right people will find you and love you for who you are, not your body. But yes, physical health is important. Yes, you should care about your physical health and be better every day in every single capacity. But leave that to your husband or your wife. Like, you don't need to show it to everybody. Just a take.
You're going to have an uncomfortable time with me.
Okay.
My main point here is that you've got absolutely no experience in fashion or the pre-loved market, so that makes it very, very difficult to give you credibility.
Would I be able to respond to that?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
In your business plan, you do say you've designed. Yes, you do say that, don't you?
I do, but
yet I have to say, actually, this was bought from a high street store, and I would say it's pretty identical.
Wow.
So let's be honest. Have you designed anything? Just give me a yes or no answer. Have you designed anything?
No.
Thank you.
A gold digger wants to know where you live. A gold carrier wants to know what lives in you. A gold digger wants to really focus on where you come from. But a gold carrier wants to know where you are going. A gold digger, wants to know what you drive. A gold carrier wants to know what drives you. Are you getting me? A gold digger will want to know the size of your television, but a gold carrier wants to know the size of your vision. And I always say, if you leave the man with the vision for the man with the television, you will soon watch the man with the vision on the man's television. Are you getting?
I read this article online about the type of man women want. And I read the comments and there were several saying, well, that takes money to do. Unfortunately, this is a cop-out excuse I see a lot of men using to make up for the fact of why they cannot treat a woman well. Because planning something with your existing resources is free. Texting her and making sure she got home safely is free. Holding the door open for her, even picking flowers. You can go out and pick wildflowers, you guys. I know it's illegal, but if you wanted to, you would. That is free. Just say that you don't want to put in the conscious planning, intention, and effort to organize something that would be romantic and pleasurable for the two of you. Not to mention, how do you justify all the money you spend on drinks, your car, your little golfing hobby, and then turn around and you can't even get her a $5 bouquet? You can't go out for a $40 or $60 meal between the two of you. And if that's out of your budget, okay, you can't cook something for her at home and make it romantic and set up some candles, some roses. Let's be for real. It's not that you don't have enough money. It is that you have forgotten how to be chivalrous. And another, let's be for real. There are women out here buying whole houses for themselves. They have jobs, they're holding it down. I love all of that for women. And then they go out and treat their girlfriends. They go out and take themselves on solo dates. They treat themselves so well. Why couldn't that also be you? Why couldn't you also be in the same position? And if you're not in the same position, that's okay, but you can make do with what you have. Literally every single man from every single tax bracket in the universe has figured out how to make it work with a woman that he wants. So hearing that you don't have enough money for that, no, it is a self-imposed limitation to disguise the fact that you don't want to put in the extra work. And perhaps you don't know how, and that's okay. At least admit that, though. Instead of putting yourself in a position where you feel like there's no way out, there's no light at the end of the tunnel for you. That literally keeps you stuck, and it needs to be called out as it is.
The guy in the comments says, I'm an old school Southern man that's been married to my best friend for 23 years. So I have a little bit of experience, but absolutely no experience dating. So take what I'm about to say as an outsider looking in with no skin in the game. I agree with you 100%. Chivalry is free. Men should take responsibility for it being dead, but the blame can be shared on both sides. Thank you, sir. Too many women outright shun chivalry. Not only that, a large percentage are also very materialistic and would make fun of a $5 bouquet behind his back with all of her girlfriends. Thank you, sir. Hand-picked wildflowers might be cute the first time, but a large percentage of women would start calling him cheap. Thank you, sir. If all of the things you say would work for you, then you're a little bit rarer than you might believe. I have found a rare one that loved me when I didn't have a penny to my name, and she helped me become the man I am today. Exactly. Now I can afford to buy her all the wonderful things I could have only dreamed of buying her for the first 7 years or so of our marriage. If dating is as terrible as it looks from over here, there's plenty of blame to go around. Thank you. They don't seem to get this. They don't seem to get this at all, right? Yeah, you can pick flowers. She said something like, well, it might be illegal, but that's fine. If he wanted to, he would. Modern women only care about their feelings. That's it. Whatever I want to happen, however I want it to happen, just make it happen. I don't care. However you do it, just make it happen. And then they just say, figure it out. This is what society does. To men in general. Oh, just figure it out. And then when the man fails, oh, you're not a real man anyway. Huh? You just ask him to do something that you said yourself was illegal. Oh, well, even though it was illegal, he still loves me. Why would you want him to get in trouble? This is the thing men have trouble with even today. Why would I be going to a place to get in trouble? You know what I mean? Like, flowers aside, if a woman goes into the club or a bar or something like that, and she gets into a little bit of a back and forth with somebody, why would I want to be involved in that? I'm thinking of a woman who went to the club, got in a back and forth with another woman, and another woman said, hey, I'm not going to take this. When it got her man, he did damage with a little toy. He had something on him, I think, and he ended up using the back of it to mess up this whole side of her face. And they had a before and after picture. All of this was swollen. Somebody said, like, even the eyelashes, like the fake eyelashes were swollen. But it's not time to play a game, so that's not funny. I'm not going to laugh at that. But all of that. So if when the police find that man, he's for sure going to jail. He didn't have to do it. He shouldn't have done it. But you went to go get your man to say and do something like that to another woman. Modern women talk about weaponized incompetence and how men are terrible, but then they go and get a man and then weaponize him. They go and get a man to do their bidding, whether it's illegal, immoral, unethical, whatever it is, just do it. I don't want to hear nothing about it, and bring me the results. Preferably excellent, fantastic, wonderful, great results. But if you can do good, just bring it to me. And I don't care nothing about the rest.
I wish only women could use social media so that men can actually like build, and I don't know what men do, but just don't act like a female.
You mean like build that parking lot that you're sitting in? Or that car that you're driving? Or that phone that you're talking stupid on? You mean like that? What are you talking about right now? Shouldn't you be in school, getting educated on the do's and don'ts of social media? There's plenty of courses out there. Maybe you educate yourself in public relations. Here's something dumb that you probably shouldn't say. Better yet, common sense 101. Here's things that you need to be aware of when getting on social media and saying stuff. But you probably won't do that. What are we doing out here? Not no time to be ignorant. Google search is prevalent.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and hang it up with the dating thing. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the towel because I'm tired. The straw that broke the camel's back was I met a man over the weekend. He was nice, cool, talking about he wanted to get to know me, saying all the right things. That nigga called me today talking about, yeah, I just wanted to let you know I'm married. And I was like, are you married, like technically married, like going through a divorce, separated married, or are you like happily married? He was like, he's happily married. And then he was like, you know, I really wasn't even trying to talk to you like that, you know, but, you know, you just kept talking to me. And I just, you know, one thing just led to another. I said, are you kidding me? You're telling me that at no point in our interaction that we met and we were talking and that you asked me for my phone number, did you think to mention, you know, I'm in a relationship. Oh, I'm married. Oh, I'm spoken for. Oh, I'm not available. And he tried to blame it on me, saying that, like, he tried to be standoffish, but I kept talking to him. What? You couldn't have been that standoffish if we ended up having a conversation and you asked me for my number. That's the actual opposite of standoffish, sir. Are we serious? So yeah, I'm good. I've had enough.
You know, I feel like some of these men pull what some of these women do when they say that they're married. You know, how some women say, oh, well, you know, I have a boyfriend. To, in some instances, they're not lying, but in some instances, they are trying to get the man out of their face or trying to get the man to leave them alone or really trying to break things off, that sort of thing. I wonder if there are some men out there doing the same thing.
All right, so I just had to come on here because some people just give really, really, really odd energy. So me and my girl are at this restaurant, we're eating, and so this man comes to our table and he goes, hey, are you using this chair? And we're like, no, we're not. And we're assuming that he's asking for the chair to take it to another table. And so then he tells my friend, you know, can you take your purse off? To which then this man sits at our table. And I'm like, oh, dang. And he goes, well, you know, I was just passing. And I really just wanted to come over here and tell you how beautiful you were. Like, I basically saw you and I had to come sit down and like go out of my way. And I was like, okay. And he goes, you're just so beautiful. And I was like, you know, thank you. And he goes, you know, I don't do this often, but I wanted to see if maybe like I could take you out on a date. And I'm like, he's like, are you single? And I'm like, yeah, I am, but I'm not interested. Like, I'm not interested. And he goes, man, he's like, everyone's just not interested. Like, everyone's just, you know, single but not interested. And like that threw me off. That was strike one. So then he's like, you know, you're just so beautiful. Like, I just thought I should put myself out there, you know, like, I don't know why this keeps on happening to me. He goes, I really just want to take on a date. Like, I live in North Miami. Like, maybe I could take it. And I said, you know, sorry, I'm not interested. And he's like, well, you know, can I get your number? And I said, yeah, no. I was like, I can give you my Instagram. Mind you, there's a way out with giving it. So you block real quick. And he goes, yeah, but what about WhatsApp? I'm like, it's basically the same thing. And he goes, well, you know, like, I figured I'd go out of my way to, you know, to ask you on a date. And like, he was so persistent. He kept on talking about wanting to take me on a date. And I was like, yeah, no, no. And so it got to a point where I just had to be like, hey, you know, I applaud your bravery for coming up to me and talking to me. I was having a really serious conversation with my friend. And, you know, I would like to get back to that conversation. Y'all, this guy just gave off weird. And he's like, well, you know, this is why women feel weird in worlds like this. People just give like, you trying to garner respect for me, sympathy for me, so that you can take me on a date. Bye.
There were a couple of comments that were interesting. One said, what was wrong with him? And you said strike one, meaning like you were open to him just like a little bit. And she said what was wrong was more so about his responses to me, not giving him the opportunity to take me on a date. It wasn't more so out of respect, more than it was the victimization that it was always happening to him. And then that I should basically change my mind to say yes, to go on a date with him out of pity. That's where she got the ick from, was from the pity, and that makes sense. And then another guy said, yeah, he wasn't weird. She just didn't like him. Relax, it wasn't that serious. So she responds and says, when a man can't respect your initial responses and proceeds to continue to ask you on a date at least 6 more times and then finish it off with, it always happens to him, and he's always being rejected, and that he should use this line to garner some sympathy and change my mind into saying, yes, that's definitely not normal behavior. And if that is for you, that's concerning. And he said, it wasn't that serious, my girl. He was just persistent. I mean, you're beautiful, and he could have felt like it was his only shot. I respect myself too much to stay there, but for him, you just don't know what someone is going through. I get what he's saying, but for women nowadays, in order to avoid this, what she's doing right now, just leave, right? Just leave. They're gonna put you up on social media anyway. And for this, like, you kind of walked into it, right? This is an easy one. This is a layup for them. This is a slam dunk for them. If she says, hey, I'm not interested, it was a smooth move. It was very creative. Hey, is anybody sitting here? Oh no. Oh, you mind moving your purse? Oh, okay. Oh, we thought he was gonna take the chair. And he sits down. Hey man, I just had to stop. He did it right, but I think maybe after about the second time is when I would have left. I think after the first time, probably, if I did something like that, I would have left after the first time. Oh, okay, I appreciate it. I probably wouldn't have even sat down. I would have just stood up and said, hey, I probably stood behind the chair. To be honest with you, probably stood behind the chair, creating some distance. Hey, lady, how's it going? Probably on the way to the restroom or something like that. Hey, how's it going? Or acting like I'm going to the restroom. Hey, how's it going? I saw you from across the way. I'm sitting right over there. How's your night going or something like that? Oh, it's going really well. Did you guys try the steak or something like that? Oh yeah, we got the, oh, okay. Hey, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I just saw you sitting over there and I had to do a double take. And so I was like, oh wow, I got to come over there and speak. So, I thought I'd come over here and introduce myself and say you're beautiful. See if there was any way that, I don't know, maybe outside of this, we can get to know each other. Take you out on a date. Is that something that you're interested in or would be interested in? You mind giving me your number or a way to contact you? And if she said no, thank you, then quite honestly, I've learned, man, just to move on and go back to your table, enjoy your food, and get up out of there. To be honest with you, not for her, but for yourself, man, because you want to move in a way that minimizes what some of these women are doing to build their social media based on, their experiences with some of these men out here, and then trying to paint all men as the same person. Not me. I have too many things to do. I have too much. I value myself too much. I value my time too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of Dodge.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200.
Okay, couple things, because I don't want to ignore anything. If a girl and a guy break up a few days ago, and that girl is sleeping around a few days later, regardless of who it's with, if he is following her around, seeing who she getting by after they broke up, he's a loser. Everyone agrees that he's a loser, and that's scary. Like, oh, he ain't letting her go. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay? She's a loser for following that man around to see who he's. Number 2, this is about the only time it's okay for you to beat up the girl. You understand what I'm saying? You know how girls beat up a girl when they find out the man is cheating? And everybody like, why you beating on her? That's your boyfriend. Well, this is different, because that's your best friend and that man is nothing to you because y'all broke up a few days ago. So your best friend is a snake. She been plotting on that boy. But that does not take away from the fact that you are weird for following that boy around to see who he's after y'all Broke up. You said it. You put it on the screen.
Listen closely to what I'm going to explain about dating men. You need to have strict rules and actually follow them. Do not sleep with him unless he has put consistent effort in for 3 months, at the earliest. He should be taking you out on nice dates, working for your attention, and earning intimacy. If he doesn't have the patience, that shows he needs instant gratification and he's not the one. So that's good. Keep it moving. Don't invite him over to your place, and don't just let him in because he's asking. Your home is sacred. If it doesn't work out, you don't need the memory of him in your kitchen. Don't even save his name as a contact in your phone.
This dude in the comments said 3 months of dates only to find out the P is whack as F. No thanks. 3 months of dates only to find out the homie cracked in a porta potty at afters. May they all crack in ghosts. Save time and money, fellas. Posted by Cuts by Briz.
Listen to me. This is not, listen to me, that is not your paper. I'm sorry, that's your stuff.
Why are you touching me? Why are you touching me? He didn't touch me, I got it on video.
That's fine.
Okay.
I didn't touch you, I touched the paper.
You touched me, I have it on video. So, like you said, call the police. Let's tell the police to show up. He just put his hands on me. But, Blair, calm down. Blair.
So this is the tail end of what happened. Now, I don't mind what he did and turn around and saying, hey, you put your hands on my woman? What the heck are you doing? Right? Defending his lady. But the story that she told, at least in part 1, was she was doing a job or something like that. So she's doing a job. Somebody's supposed to come in and relieve her, which I'm guessing is this lady right here.
Why are you touching?
It's this lady right here. Okay. That's her man right there pulling up in that black car that you see in the back. I don't know if she lives across the street. I don't know where her car is. But essentially what happened was she's supposed to do a job. The woman in the house is supposed to do a job. Is she doing a job? They say there's somebody supposed to be coming in and relieving her. So I'm guessing that's that woman walking off. So the woman comes up. They get into a back and forth about something. She says, all right, cool. I'm going to go get my man. And so now this man comes over here believing his lady about what went on. And he's all in that woman's face. She's got a man who's walking up the driveway right now. And he says, okay, what went on? Because she actually texted him and said, hey, something's going on with this job. It's sketchy. I don't know what's going on. That's why you see him pulling up and walking up to the door. Right. And so when she said, hey, he put his hands on me, that's when he turns around and is going to handle that situation. So essentially, and this is why men are so wary of listening to some of the things that these modern women say, because they do have the instinct to protect. It's like, oh, well, men don't protect anymore. Men don't provide anymore. That's them protecting and providing based on your word, as they should, because that's my woman. My woman would be straight up with me. My woman would be honest with me. But when you look down deeper, in my opinion, this is emotion. This could have ended worse than what it actually should have. This should have never been a thing. This should have been this lady here in the tan top and her talking about, hey, this is what it is, yada, yada, yada. If there's any issue, let's call it. Okay, you know what? Let's get on the phone with the employer right now. Or if it gets too heated, let me walk back across the street, get on the phone with the employer. Hey, we've got Alicia here and she's talking about X, Y, and Z. And I thought whatever the situation was. Okay, well, let me call Alicia and see and handle it that way. Hey, Phyllis, let me tell you what, we'll have you come in a little bit later on tonight. I'm headed over there to talk to Alicia right now, but just kind of hang out for about an hour or two, go get some lunch. And then I'm coming over right now to have everything worked out so we know what's going on. But instead, because unfortunately some women go based off of their emotions. Then she went and got her man involved, which made this woman, and I don't necessarily think that, I don't know if she should have said he just put his hands on me, because she knew what he would do if he said that. I'm glad he restrained himself. But essentially what you're doing is reacting off of emotion. And this could have ended up a lot worse, right? So just like a man's protecting y'all need to protect your man. Put your emotions to the side. You need to be emotionally mature.
So I was talking to this guy who had a girlfriend, but I didn't know he had a girlfriend. And when I found out he had a girlfriend, I asked him, why would he talk to me if he had a girlfriend? And he told me because I didn't matter. And he was like, I didn't matter because he was trying to make our situation a FWB's type of situation. And I was just like, well, how did you know that I would be interested in that? And he was like, it didn't matter if you were interested or not. That's all I was offering you. So I'm like, well, when was you going to tell me this? And he was just like, I'm telling you now. And I was like, well, so I just want to let you know, like, I'm not interested and we can just go ahead and cut this short. And he was like, you should be interested because no one will ever talk to you. And I was just like, well, why? What is it about me that you would think no one would talk to me? And he was like, it's actually like, I know. He was just like, you're not a woman to take seriously because look at you. And I was like, look at me. He was like, yes, like, you're not a woman that's put together. He was like, your hair color don't match. He was like, you talk really loud, you act like a child, like you're too goofy. And then he said, I'm slightly overweight as well. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, if you felt all of this about me, why would you waste my time or like try to hurt me? And he was like, it was not wasting your time. He was just like, I just thought, why not? And I was like, well, the thing is, I have to live with who I am as a person. I can't change that. Like, I could dye my hair, I could lose weight, but at the end of the day, I still would be the same goofy me, and that's all right. So for you to say those mean things about me, why would you want me to live, not liking myself? Because I don't know when I'm gonna pass on. So I don't want to live this life not liking myself because I can only be Kiki. And he was like, it's not to hurt you, it's maybe also to educate you because you can change. And I was just like, the thing is, I don't want to change. And then he said, well, then you will always have these situations where no one wants to take you seriously. And I was just like, I think you're just a very closed-minded person because someone has taken me seriously and I have experienced love because I've always been a relationship type of person. And also, too, my family loved me. So if I die alone, that's okay. And I told him, I was like, I hope that you don't have children because you can only procreate by teaching your child to think a certain way. And we don't need any more people like you in the world that's trying to hurt someone or make someone not like themselves. So I want to thank, the person upstairs that your opinion does not affect me because I don't want to go home and look in the mirror and start crying and not like what I see. You get what I'm saying? So God bless you, sir, and have a good life. I'm gonna eat this sushi.
I haven't said it for a long time, but it bears repeating right now. This man is playing with house money. He's playing with house money. He already has a woman. No telling how many other women he's done this to. But this man he's just saying whatever he wants to say. And you're still in his face. I don't get it. This man must be really good looking. He must be your type. Because you're still talking to this man. The conversation should have been over a long, long time ago. There shouldn't have even been a conversation when you found out he had a girlfriend. But you went into a back and forth for nothing. Nothing. So this man could insult you over and over and over again. And then when another guy wants to approach, get out of my face, bridge troll. This is what you should have said to the guy who already had a girlfriend and he told you that. And then he went on to insult you 5, 6, 7 times. Playing with house money. This is what these Chads and Tyrones do. I'm actually thinking about it, dude. I didn't know him personally, but I'm just essentially what he did, if I can get the story correctly, is he had like 3 or 4 women interested in him at one time. I think 3, maybe. One was kind of talking to him. The other was his girlfriend. And then the other was like a friends with benefits sort of thing. The one he was talking to, she said she wasn't sure that he had a girlfriend or whatever. She thought he was single. The other 2 knew about each other and they were fighting over him. He went and got one. I know it was messed up because he went and got one pregnant. The other one found out about it, or he told the other one about it, had the baby on the way, married the other one. So he had 2 women, actually 3, but 2 actively fighting for him, fighting over him. He got one of them pregnant. The other one found out about it, still married him. House money. I can't lose. I can't lose. I'm going to get out here, have a baby by one of you guys. Not that I wanted to do that, but it was a byproduct of us doing our thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the whole cow, right? So, at some point in time, you guys have to stop entertaining these conversations.